Hello everyone! Welcome back to this game. When we last left off, we have arrived at this interesting store that is apparently strongly resembling the store in our hero's homeworld. I'm pretty sure that is of significant importance, or else they would not have brought it up. Now then, there's a cat over here. Must not pursue the path of darkness that lies to the south. Must never venture into the shadows of the forest where beyond the heavy fog lies the adventurer's worst doom. Woe! Woe is he who dares come near the great house of terror and bloodshed, the sanctuary of nightmares that is Bella's. Stay away! Stay far, far away! Well, I was right about the cat talking. The message was not quite what I was expecting. Hey, a rabbit's foot. Cool. Not so much for the rabbit, of course, but this means I can give Lynn some much needed luck. You apparently have nothing to say, so I will ignore you and proceed onward. I am hyped for this, by the way. I am super excited about where we are going to be heading to next. However, I apparently have not triggered whatever conversation I need in order to ensure that I head there next. So, who am I missing? Oh, I can talk to you. Why wasn't I able to talk to you when you were standing by the table? Pirate Indigo Newell. Hey, weren't you three those very same kids that the Rosalina had been built in a matter of just 6 days for the very purpose of transporting across the mid-ocean? It was just this morning that we had arrived on the shores. Imagine meeting you way out here. Yep, you're important. That is kind of a coincidence to see you again so soon, and way out here from the pier of all places. What have you come here for, anyway? I said that so awkwardly. Pirate Indigo Newell, right. The Admiral asked me to journey down this way for supplies, since without the kind of business that we once had back when the Leviathan fleet was still considered a fleet, it looks as though me and the crew will be spending quite a bit of time here in Sibyline Reef. Are the seas really so unsafe now that all Elvenians are reluctant to try to cross them? How are Lelia and Sibyline Reef able to keep any sort of relationship that way, at least in terms of trade, if nothing else? I don't really know, but it is almost certain the personal trust between the elves of Lelia and the humans indoors from around here will begin to deteriorate if lack of content between the two kingdoms persists, considering how the times are darkening. That would be quite a shame. By the way, we sort of noticed that a particularly sinister-looking cloud is hanging over the land down southward a ways, and we can hear the low rumble of thunder coming from that direction. The sky is perfectly sunny over where we are right now. So is there something that we three would do well to know about the strange weather patterns of this continent? Well, I mean, aside from the fact that you know that this is supposed to be weird weather, it is actually a pretty common occurrence to be in a sunny section and seeing stormy weather over the horizon. Oh, that. If I were you three, I wouldn't go over that way. But ever since that haunted sanctuary of evil appeared some time ago, a few stubborn adventurers have refused listening to the warnings of their road companions in favor of braving a step into the horrid place, because they foolishly believed that in Elvenia there could never be anything to be afraid of. And of course, they never come back out alive. I gotcha. We'll be sure to stay clear of that area then. But Out of curiosity, what's the story on that place? Seems like Elvenia would not be a natural breeding ground for sanctuaries of evil, you know? There used to exist a small village high up on a mountain bluff in that part of the Yuzuki Plains, but it mysteriously vanished overnight during a brutal thunderstorm that terrorized the entire continent about 2 months ago. Vanished? Yeah, just one flash of lightning, a loud thunderclap, and poof! Both the town and the mountain on which it stood were reduced to utter ruins. And even more eerily, something else had appeared almost out of thin air to replace what had been destroyed. A great mansion with an air of haunting about it now stands on a small rocky cliff in the village's place. And ever since that night, a perpetual cloud of darkness has remained in suspension over that accursed region. No one in their right mind would go anywhere near Bella's. Come again? What did you just call the haunted mansion that we've been talking about all this time? Bella's. The reason everyone from around here knows that is because one brave soul got close enough to edge of the storm one day to see in the distance what he claimed to be a spooky girl standing on top of the roof with a whole slew of other demonic figures, shouting at the top of her lungs over the rainfall that very soon now Bella's will spread a rain of darkness beyond its boundaries, flooding the Yuzuki Plains in chaos and devastation such as Elvenia has never known before. End of quote. Why do you ask? Is something wrong? Let's just say that if this is the same place that my friends and I are thinking of, then we have a connection with it that we definitely wish we did not. Thank you for the warning, but we have just one more question we'd like to ask you before having to get back on the road, and I already know that I will regret having asked. Gulp. Whatever happened to that one brave soul who heard the spooky girls shouting in the rain? After he came staggering through the entrance of the shop, shivering like a mad and looking battered to the point that his wits had left him, the store clerk Fauna had taken notice of the horrible bloodstains on the fellow's clothing. She immediately proceeded to take care of his grievous wounds, but as she was doing so, right there in Fauna's lap, the man just went crazy for a second or two, and then passed away. It was both a saddening and horrifying scene for Fauna to bear witness to. Just as I would have thought. Thank you for your warning, and please be careful on your way back to the pier. Who wouldn't want the same unfortunate fate to befall you as the one that came upon the man who died in Fauna's care? Yeah, so much for being able to treat fatal wounds. I understand. See you around. Alright, now this just is plain bizarre. Bella's is also the name of that creepy old restaurant back in El Dorado where you and Dusk work at on the weekends, right, Uri? And the tragic memories return of my awakening every cloudless Thursday morning in our crib in Magnolia, preparing to be off to class at the university just down the road, but knowing full well that, once class ends later on that very same morning, I must journey all the way to another town completely just to meet Uri at the front door of the dreaded house of shame that we are forced to call our place of employment, and there must we slave under the tyranny of Sid Robinson for the next 3 nights in a row. First, we come across the exact same place where we would hang out whenever the 3 of us happen to be in El Dorado together while here in another world completely different from our own, also called the Old Town Store, Add Fauna's trademark heart for business propaganda. She was actually saying that? And now we hear about a location that not only shares the same name as where Dusk and I are both employed, but also fits our pirate friend's description to a T, scary as that sounds. What's going on around here? Are the planetary orbits of Earth and Elvania beginning to collide in the middle of space and we just don't sense it or something? Dark storm clouds perpetually cover the area. A scary woman and her demon cult threaten to shroud the land in evil, and no one comes back from there alive. There's no doubt about it. The girl and the other shadowy figures who were standing with her on the roof must be that sassy little witch, Karen, Piper, and the rest of our twisted co-workers from the day shift. Really? Which can only mean that the mansion farther south on the Izuki Plains is somehow the very same disgusting establishment that we know to be Bella's back on Earth. It all makes sense now, does it not? We've always known that an antiquated spirit of megalomaniacism dominated the natures. I cannot believe I was able to say that word in one try. Dominated the natures of every last sad sap who works on the day shift. So these demons who desire to rule over all of this side of the Sibylline Reef with evil power, as was described to us before, and our blood-sucking friends who work with us at the Bellas back in the other world, must be one and the same. Eri incredulously says, but how is that possible? We're in another world now. The guys over at Bella's could not have just gotten up and followed us here. If you'll recall, the only way the three of us were carried across the stars was by means of sorcery, and so did they. William's colleague claimed that the mansion and the demons residing within it appeared out of nowhere about 2 months after the breaking of a mysterious thunderstorm. And you and Dusk came home to Magnolia from work one night at about that same time, saying that you both had been temporarily put out of work while some legal action taken against the owner had suspended the restaurant's business for the time being. Now, granted, we had celebrated that very same evening with pizza and anime, because all this meant that you and Dusk were free from having to work in such an abhorrent line of business for what was most likely to be a very long time to come. But it also fits the puzzle piece of what Sid and his other employees at Bella's have been up to during those last 2 or so months of business crash. My guess, and it is only this is an evening, I gotta say. My guess, and it is only an educated guess, mind you, is that the Dark Lord of Darkness actually knows more about the three of us than what we... Okay, I might actually have to end this stream just because my tongue is not wanting to cooperate. The Lord of Darkness actually knows more about the three of us than what we've assumed so far, and so he is the one responsible for this whole ordeal. What do you mean? I mean that the Dark Lord used some sort of magical thunderstorm to bring our sworn enemies from Bella's, and the establishment itself along with them, from our world into this one, and he did so in order to screw with our minds, you see? As for this place we're in now, I would say that it really is nothing more than a silly coincidence, lest there would likely be some kind of evil running about the interior of Miss Fauna's shop as well. So, we can just stay and relax here for the time being and sort out our present confusion without having to worry about getting into any more crazy trouble. That seems agreeable. So the Dark Lord is now just waiting for us to stumble into this trap where he can use Robinson and his zombified employees to finish off us meddling would-be heroes? Apparently so. Dusk dryly says, "Cute plan. Sad and a bit less ingenious than I would have hoped for, but cute." You can bet that our enemy is not the type who leaves much up to chance. Before we even had a chance to find the way to Elvenia, the Dark Lord sends his right-hand Grandis to deal with us, and even sets up this nefarious scenario ahead of time to ensnare us should we somehow get the better of Grandis and accidentally open up the way across the stars. You also take note that Wraith Sephidorn came to us for the purpose of pulling out potentially erratic weeds, and she showed up at just the right time and place to find us. You can at least be certain that Elvenia's prophesied destructor keeps very good tabs on our movements. This is all beginning to make sense, and quite frankly, it's beyond frightening that it is. So I say, let's accept Fauna's invitation to stay here at the inn for the night and figure out what to do about this. Alrighty then. And then alrighty again as the music suddenly quiets down. Trust me, the music is there. Just really quiet. Alright guys, listen closely. I know that our normal reaction to the story we heard from the Admiral's colleague would be to think that we're all directly involved, and so we should go check the place out, but I don't know about this. Like Dusk stated earlier, we've always had a suspicion in our minds that the boss of Bella's and his day shift flunkies were actually monsters in the disguise of human dregs of society. But that should be reason for us not to involve ourselves. If all of our assumptions thus far are indeed correct, then we probably no better a chance at escaping that insane place alive than any of those adventurers who have gone in before us did. Perhaps you're right. Oh right, we still got the goddesses with us. The guardian angels, rather. Are you that frightened of entering this accursed sanctuary of evil that you and your friends have been speaking of all this time, child? I'll look after and protect you, so please don't worry. What? Hey, cut that out, Priyan. Something just isn't right for a woman to be saying that kind of thing to me. Okay, I do not agree with that statement. You're saying that it's not right for a woman to say that she will protect you? Seriously? I can go in there all by myself and manage well enough, thank you. Sure. So that's how you think of me, huh? Well, this mere woman will be accompanying you into this imminent danger regardless, no matter how quick you are to accuse me of being helpless to do anything for you. You'll certainly be singing a different tune once we get there and face it directly, though, let me assure you. Yeah, and also I want to remind you that Priyan has supplied you with fire magic. Fools are eager to proclaim their folly, aren't they? Oh, shut up! Think you're so clever with those witty proverbs of yours. It would appear as though Uri might need to experience a few more trials on this journey before learning to have complete trust in Priyan, but... As for you, Dusk, will you accept... Why am I having trouble saying that word? Will you accept my help on this dangerous quest? I promise that I won't let you down, even if I am female. Of course, Miss Ares. I will consider it nothing less than an honor for so loyal a guardian and friend as you to fight with me at my side. Lynn mutters under his breath. Oh, well, now there's a really freaking huge surprise. Dusk showing kindness towards a girl in a vulnerable moment. Dusk apparently overheard. Actually, Lynn, my reasons for wanting to run headlong into such a dangerous place are cold and self-centered enough to suit even you and Uri. Our getting rid of the monsters inside Bella's will give the Elvenians who live in this part of Sibylline Reef one less thing to worry about when they retire to slumber each night. That much is true. However, an even greater motivation for me is my desire to settle the score with our uppity co-workers and their cheap pride from the day shift once and for all. Too long have Uri, myself, and our fellow members of the night shift labored in vain under the unnecessary tyranny of those boiled ham-chugging scum, and now they are trying to victimize a whole population of innocent Elvenians with their inane threats of world domination? I don't think so. I'm going in there and making it abundantly clear to those fools that I've had enough of their delusional drudgery, and I'll let the Northern Longblade do the talking for that. Sigh. Alright, already. We're going. So you'd better sleep well tonight, Dusk. You and your pretty little guardian angel Ares both. I will say this much, though. If you two want so much to take up the leadership role in this one, just remember... Uri says with overly dramatic emphasis, we didn't adopt the name Gazelle Ministry for Karen and the rest of her fell kind for nothing. The name what? I don't remember adopting that name. Sorry if it was actually mentioned at some point. Must not pursue... Nope. You say the same thing as before. Food's great. Nope. And... Are you still here? No, you finally left. I guess lunch break is over. Book is apparently not important. Okay, so... Bellas. Let's find out what happens here. So, this is it. Well, I didn't expect this place to have changed very much on the inside, just because its location of business was moved from one world to another entirely. For the first time ever in his life, a spirit of intense sarcasm overtakes Dusk. Dusk looks around with a judicious eye. Oh, but it does appear as though the five-star diner that our worthless boss chose to call Bella's has been renovated just a bit since our last day of work. Look here! So many more nuclear-resistant cockroaches running about with the filth-ridden floors. Okay, that does, That definitely paints a picture for the real-world Bella's. Ah! And see there, nibbling a bit of year-old jalapeno-flavored fudge beside the register, whose drawers are no doubt full of naught but cobwebs to show for the day's profits as usual. Yeah, it looks to be a sewer rat of approximate equivalence to paprika size. Exactly! See, Uri, the employees here do have lofty ambitions for the business's future, after all. Whatever. Let's just get this done, alright? I want to be out of here as soon as humanly possible. Just out of curiosity, is anyone else here beginning to lose their nerve? The farther we seem to be venturing into this place, you took 4 steps. The more dreadful a chill I feel coming from the downstairs kitchen ahead of us. I take back what I said last night. This evil is much too great for us 3 to contend with. Let's get out of here! Wait! Dusk! Where are you? Forgive me, Miss Ares, but I can't. Locked! We're locked in! What? No way! Quit playing, man. My greatest nightmare has become reality. Just stay calm, please, my friends. We must finish what we came here to do in the first place and save the Elvenians of Yuzuki Plains from the grip of the evil that roams this unholy place. We're just as scared as all of you, believe me. But please take heart, for your guardian angels will be with you always. We know, we know. Jeez, Priyan, you sure know how to beat a cliché to death. Dusk? Dusk's hysterics begins to fade. Yes, Miss Aries, I'm here. I'll go on with you all, don't worry. I guess we'll just have to hunt down those we came here today to fight in the first place and take the key to the front doors from them forcibly.